Hello, this is Sam. I would like to read the book Fluent in 3 months today. I think this is the second time to read it. Okay, let's begin. The way to learn a language is to live it. One of the biggest issues with the traditional approach to language learning is that the benefits of picking up a new language are constantly postponed. Study this and study that, and then, if you are lucky, in a few years' time, you'll eventually understand the language. As well as being far from the truth, this approach removes the fun and the life from the process. In many education systems, especially in English-speaking countries, languages are taught the same way as any other subject like geography or history. Teachers provide the facts, so the student will know the language. Or, as in mathematics, students do the exercises to understand the rules. Except on rare occasions, this approach does not produce speakers of the target language, so something clearly needs to be fixed. A language is a means of communication and should be lived rather than taught. A teacher's primary role should be as a language facilitator. A teacher should make sure students use the target language at whatever level they happen to be at, rather than keep them quiet while he or she does all the talking, trying to transfer the informational components of the language into the students' brains. In high school, I had to learn Irish. It was mandatory, and in order to gain admission to university, I needed to pass my exams. As a rule, I only cared about learning enough Irish to pass. I didn't care about the language itself. My attitude towards Irish changed completely when I actually took the time to live in the Gaeltacht region of Ireland, where people still speak the language, and I started to make friends using it. The second language I took in high school was German. I took German because Germany is an important economy in Europe, and I figured it would look good to have this language on my CV. German language skills would help me stand out, especially since most people in my year were studying French. Once again, I didn't care about the German language. I just thought learning it might give me secondary benefit, and of course I barely retained anything. I thought German was nothing more than der, die, das tables of impossible to learn grammar, and I imagined Germans were robots that automatically spit out grammatically correct sentences. That is, until I met actual Germans and saw firsthand how interesting and fun they were. So fun, in fact, I wanted to get to know them better. This way of thinking allowed me to stop thinking of the German language as a barrier between Germans and me, but instead as a bridge I could cross to communicate with them. In both cases, my initial tangential motivations for learning language were replaced by a direct motivation to live that language and use it as a means of communication and connection. This is how language courses should work. The best tend to veer away from the traditional approach of drilling grammar and word lists into us, or providing us with old, boring, and irrelevant text. Instead, the best courses encourage us to play games and role play in the language. They let students speak the language with one another, which, as I realized with both of the language I had learned poorly in high school and then much better as an adult, in the truest means of communication. As a result of speaking the language right away, students start to acquire the language rather than learn it as they would other academic subjects.